Good, good. We got 13 minutes. I guess we got a little light up in here, so it's daytime. I got the blinds open. I wanted to drop this video real quick. I was actually talking to a partner of mine on yesterday, I believe. Oh, it was yesterday. I was talking to a partner of mine on yesterday, and we were actually having a discussion about relationships and things of that nature. We kind of got real deep. We even went to like the mental standpoint of relationships and what's happening in the relationships in today's time. And a lot of this is my opinion, along with a bunch of facts, along with scientific studies and also psychology studies. Like I was discussing with him. I said, if you take a young kid or a young lady for that matter, and they grow up in a neighborhood where they saw bodies. I mean, literally, like when I was younger, it was like we were at a funeral. I'm telling you, this is serious business. We were at a funeral. It seemed like twice a month, we were walking past some 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 year old kid that was just laying in a casket, and the parents was there going crazy crying, but it was like almost normal. You know what I mean? This is like almost normal for us to see. And so psychologically, that plays a role in your life once you become an adult, is what we were talking about. The music that's playing on the radio right now is basically breaking up relationships. The Kardashian syndromes, the women are looking at these financial gains from having sex with men, financial gain from lust, financial gain from showing their bodies. And this stuff is really popular. So it's going to actually make a relationship hard to be in this day and time. And we were talking about how that's a harsh reality that some of us have to actually face. I had to face that reality of the great grandmother, great grandfather love is probably not going to exist in this day and time unless you find someone who is mentally equally yoked. I call the people that I talk to tell me about the three-dimensional relationship. It's a physical, it's a mental, and it's a spiritual. So physically, the physical attraction, the mental attraction, and the spiritual attraction. My Uncle Sonny has been married to his wife almost 50 years. My mentor, his name is Fred Greer. He's been married to his wife almost 40 years. So I talk to these gentlemen. I used to work with Fred when I was little, and when I was much younger, and he would just talk to me about different things and how he was happily married and what it took to keep a marriage together and things of that nature. Of course, in his time in growing up, the music was different. They wasn't listening to the same things. You didn't get popular because you slept in the bed with some guy and then got famous from it. It wasn't really happening like that back then in that day and time, from my understanding. You know what I mean? So when it comes to how the mind work, if your third eye is not open, they refer to the third eye as the pineal gland, the third eye near the center of the brain. It produces a serotonin and melatonin, things of that nature. These serotonin and melatonin is the neurotransmitters. It helps us with our sleeping and waking cycles. It's also the melatonin is also in relation to our reproductive cycles that runs through the brain. And so you have to think about this. If you growing up and all you doing is walking past dead bodies, then your brain is recycling this. You know what I'm saying? And what that does to me, in my opinion, is that leads to this form of thinking in your mind to where it's like you don't believe in a future. You don't believe that you're going to make it past the age of 19, 20 because all your friends are dying through gang violence, drug overdoses, whatever, because the hood is crazy like that. When we were growing up, we saw our parents go through different things. So I'm telling you, it's amazing how this works. Now, we're gonna let me. I was looking at some notes right here just to let you know, but we're gonna talk about this. When you've grown up and you've seen a certain amount of violence, you've seen a certain amount of unfairness happening. You've given up on life. You just still living. The body hasn't dropped. You haven't killed yourself. Nobody haven't come to kill you. Then you have people like us who grew up, and I'm gonna talk about healing in a minute. But you have people like us who've grown up, and then they fall into this lifestyle with another human being. So you have all this built up hurt that you haven't quite healed from yet. Some people healing process start before, but some people have not started no type of healing process. And so they jumping from body to body, person to person, relationship to relationship, not at no fault of their very own. It's just that one hasn't gone through a healing process. You have to heal. I'm telling you, I don't really use that word have to that often, but you have to heal in order to make anything as far as relationship, as far as, thinking positive, as far as, telling complete strangers you love them. And you have to be healed in order to do that. You have to go through a healing process in order to be able to carry on like this. In other words, your third eye has to be open. Your brain has to be reproducing. That melatonin has to be fluctuating through the brain, which means you through the past, you're able to throw the past in the past and move forward. You've forgiven everybody. You know what I'm saying? You've forgiven your past. You've forgiven yourself. You know what I mean? You use discernment in your relationship. You play your role. You play your part. You're not trying to be the man. The man is not trying to be the woman. The woman is not trying to be the man. You know what I mean? So you have to go through a healing process. Now, when you get with God on your own time and your own prayer time and all of that, that's when you confront God about the your healing process and the steps that you have to take. I promise you, God will show you and lead you and guide you to the necessary people, life forms, energy, frequency that will heal you. I'm serious. I couldn't tell you if it didn't happen for me. I'll do a video on how my healing process started. I actually cried. Man, you wouldn't, and it wasn't just me. It was a bunch of people, and it was a similar. It was called a PSY seminar, but I'll get into that later. We're going to talk about this relationship stuff. So look, check this out. Now let me go a little bit deeper real quick. And ladies, excuse me, I don't mean no disrespect, but I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. How much power is this? You have a woman. Society has painted this picture of a beautiful woman who has a nice form, a nice shape, beautiful. She'll walk down the street, and by the time she reaches the 5th block, she's probably had 2 or 3 men to pull over and offer her money for sex or try to see what she's about. I've mentioned this before. So we're gonna take that power, sum that up, and push it to the side. Then you have another type of power. This power is the victim role, right? Like my partner was telling me about. He experienced. He had went out and got a girlfriend. She just so happened to be a dancer. So we got to be careful the women we pick, right? All of us, we just want to be loved and cared about. It's sometimes, but the signs are in the beginning if you pay attention. So he went out and got a dancer. He heard the girl was cheating on him. You know, he got into an argument with her. He told her to get out, start putting stuff out or what have you. Things happened. She called the police. He ended up going to jail. When he got out of jail and, you know, solved that little issue, his friends told him that she had all kind of dudes in the house. So you got to be careful the women you pick. You have to use that discernment. There's ways out of this. So you have to use that discernment. But not only was she wrong for what she did, according to the story, but she also played victim. I said in a video that I made, I said playing victim and having power is a tragedy when it's guided in the wrong direction. If I can be wrong about something, play victim, get away with it, and put you in jail, then put on a tight dress, walk to the corner, and get offered money for sex, no wonder why a lot of the relationships are not working. You know, but it all started from when we were small. We didn't see a bunch of productive relationships. But the ones that I caught on to, I held on to them. Like, you know, like I say, my Uncle Sonny, Brother Fred was one of our youth leaders at the church that I grew up in. I'm not a religious person, but we grow in life. We grow past things and we realize that God is our creator. And through experience, you know, we see things manifest. So the subconscious mind has seen death, experienced death at a young age. You grow up thinking that there's no future for you. But you do grow up anyway, right? You make it to that grown-up stage with no healing. You get into a relationship, right? The woman has seen people prostituting for that drug. She's seen women manipulate men manipulate women, and then we all grow up, and all of a sudden it's time for us to have our own relationships without no healing. And then the question comes to us, why isn't anything working? You have to heal. You have to go through a healing process. But that's up to you though. You get with the Creator and watch God show you and bring you through a healing process. But you got to ask for it. We have not because we ask not. I dare you to ask for it. I did it. I cried out to God like, dude, this is what I'm doing. It's not working. It's not working. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Okay? A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Don't waste your mind. Don't waste your heart, because this is all connected. We got neurotransmitters in our brain, in our bodies that's operating off energy and frequency. Pay attention.